Okay, as long as
All right, ZBA, we are live. We are recording. Phone lines are opened. Go for it.
Matt, and welcome to the Town of East Hampton Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for July 15th, 2025. We'll get going with the agenda. We have two canceled public hearings this evening. I'll just read them in case anybody's here or listening. The first canceled public hearing is Nina Rachel Liederman Trust and Rowena Langabay Argvelis Trust, 39 Old Fireplace Road in Spring, Suffolk, tax map number 324-24-7-45. That has been canceled. Second canceled hearing is Jeffrey and Kim Whelan at 170 Marine Boulevard in Amagansett, Suffolk, tax map number 300-176-4-12. Can't hear me, John? So with that, we'll go to the first scheduled public hearing, and the applicant is Sophia Boroditsky at 85 Oyster Shores Road, East Hampton, Suffolk, tax map number 300-92-2-43. The size and location is 146,784 square feet, which is 3.37 acres at 85 Oyster Shores Road in East Hampton. The description is to construct a pool with associated deck and patio and a deck associated with the principal building within side yard setbacks. Relief sought is variances of 24.4 feet, 17.6 feet, 15.6 feet, and 6.6 feet from 255-1110 of the town code are needed to construct a pool deck 25.6 feet, pool 32.4 feet, and pool patio 34.2 feet from the side yard property line where 50 feet is required, and to construct a deck associated with the principal building 28.4 feet from the side yard property line where 35 feet is required, and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is A3 residence, X flood zone VE8, and the secret class is type 2. Do we have proper affidavit of service and posting, counsel?
I reviewed the affidavit of service and posting. There's an issue with the service that was done by the applicant. They sent it regular mail instead of certified mail. They did, I believe you said they have an affidavit of posting, and I believe you said they did post.
There's a photo of the posting right there.
So after discussions, we can have the hearing and leave it open for the proper service to be done, and then we can come back at a later date. You're choosing probably 3 weeks or so at a next a 3 weeks meeting, which would be, let me see, we got August 5th. We have a work session, or we could do the August 12th, which is that's a work session too, I think. August 12th is a hearing? Okay.
So
yeah.
for another hearing?
So to send out the proper notice.
So what we're going to the suggestion is to hold the hearing this evening, continue it, and require for proper notice and proper public response if there's anything.
Yeah, so give the.
Or reschedule.
Or
the hearing.
reschedule it.
I say let's continue the hearing, and
Yeah, but
we've done
having
this.
it today, and then if there's a public.
I'd like to reschedule it.
Sorry, what? I can't hear you.
I
don't have a problem.
don't have a problem continuing. It sounds like we have two that want to reschedule it.
Want to reschedule?
Oh,
Let's do fifth.
no, I'm happy to go with the hearing.
Yeah,
The hearing,
me
I'm ready to
too.
go with it.
And then we'll just have them have proper notice get mailed out by, we'll do the 12th or the 5th.
How many to the top?
The public hearing night. So on the 12th, they'll have to provide us, before the 12th, have to provide us with a new affidavit and proof that the mailings were sent properly. And I would just keep the posting up until then.
Okay.
And was it, this is a reposting that we're looking at?
What it is,
Where it was up since
there was
the
a
last-
mailing sent out, so it wasn't
No,
certified.
that
That's
I
the
understood.
glitch. So
What I'm asking is, when I went to see the property originally, and it was postponed, there was no posting.
Right.
But no, so this is the proper posting that was done in time for
For
this
this one.
session,
Yes,
correct? Okay,
yeah,
thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, there was some confusions before. So it's been going on for a while, so we kind of just,
So by leaving it open until the 12th, we give the opportunity for anyone who gets a mailing now to
yes.
comment. Is that-
And if a neighbor has a comment, we can take it up at the next public hearing.
Okay, this was in my area, so I'll do the report. So the first photo is a copy showing the posting. Next. So this is the driveway leading into the house next. And as you see here, that's we have that's the garage on the left and the house is on the right. We're going to walk through the backyard, into the backyard to take a look at the pool. Next. Again, taking a look into the gates into the backyard. Next. That's the house on the right. Next. So this is now entering the rear yard, and you can see that's a sunken, the property goes down in elevation, and it's a pool down below, very heavily landscaped yard. Next. Taking a look at the pool relative to the house, and now you're going to see, go ahead, next photo. Now, this is looking back at that gazebo type thing that's on the survey. The pool is this shape now, but it's proposed to be a rectangular shape. That's it. Do we have the applicant here? Come on up. Or the agent? Want to announce yourself?
I'm Shaolin.
Sure.
Give us your address, who you are, and what your address is.
Yes, we're the architects for this project. Address 34 Kimberly Road, East Hampton, New
And
York.
your name of your firm?
Studio Shao.
Can you-
My address is 1 Green Lane in Newport, Rhode Island, and my office is Deft Office, and we're working together on this project for the clients.
Okay. Let me swear you in.
Yes,
Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are appearing before the board to seek approval to replace the existing swimming pool and deck with a new patio and deck, as well as replace a separate deck attached to the principal dwelling.
I'm sorry, before you continue, could you just pull the microphone just a
Yes.
little down in front of you? Thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt.
The project will also remove an existing roof deck, slate steps, and brick patio. We're proposing to change the existing pool from an organic shape to a rectangular pool measuring 35 feet by 15 feet. This change will reduce the overall square footage by 49 square feet, and the pool itself will be reduced by 153 square feet. It will also slightly reduce the patio area within the 50-foot setback. Additionally, the proposed deck attached to the principal building will become more conforming to the side yard setback. We explored alternative locations for the pool, but placing it to the south will put it in front of the garage and the driveway. And if we move it farther west, it will place on the steep slope, as you can see from one of the photos of the house. So the current existing location would be the best location for the pool. Granting this variance will not change the character of the neighborhood. It will not be visible to neighbors and will not adversely impact the physical or environmental condition in the area. And the requested area variance is minor. Thank you.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions. No, I didn't know if you were you going to speak or not? Only if we're, okay.
May I just follow up on something you said? You mentioned the phrase alternative locations. Could you expand upon that a little bit of
Yeah,
what
so
you,
if you go to the,
and in terms of in the area where the pool is now versus other
if you look
places?
at the setback, you can't really do it in front of here because of the pool setback. I don't think it's on the survey.
Right, that I understood.
So the only really area around the house you could do the pool is, let's say, by the driveway, but that would be in front of the house, in front of the grass, and like right in front of the driveway. And the other area was pushing it farther away from the house in this steep area, but that would really impact the existing
grade of the house, because if you look at the contour lines, it's a really steep slope.
Right, I was on the property.
Take out all this fill outside in order to get the pool to be in this area, and it's gonna be really far from the house. You can't even see the pool from the house. So we look at alternative locations, and really just the existing location would be the best. And it's not changing much other than the shape of the pool.
Thank you.
And we have the existing pool shape outlined here. You can see like this is outline of the existing shape. So we're pretty much right on the existing outline.
The nearest it is to the property line, what's on the other side of the property line? What is that lot? Is there a developed lot? Is there a house there?
This one, yes, there, I believe there is like an easement around this site, and then there's a house on the other side.
Is that on the survey?
But you can't even see any of the neighbors from.
There was in one of the earlier images a photo looking in that direction, and it is, as Mr. Deline stated, heavily landscaped. So the visual impact coming from that neighbor is wouldn't be changed. Where if we were to move it up the grade, as Shao was speaking towards, that would potentially make that more visible to that neighbor, putting it in a higher elevation. And additionally, with the view corridor up the driveway, not only does it impact the circulation of the site, that would potentially create a bigger visual impact for any neighbors around that. So,
Mr. Chairman, did you sense when you were there sight lines from the neighbor here that had an impact on?
Yeah, no, it's a very heavily, neighbor, you
Heavily
can't see
screened.
anything beyond that. It'd be interesting to verify if there was an easement there on the neighboring property. I don't know if the planning department would be able to advise us on
I
that.
don't see it on the survey.
I believe
I
the
don't see it
easement
on
we're
survey.
speaking of is along
Open
where it's
space.
noted there on the survey is the cleared path. Unsure if there is any other sort of easement on the
Right.
neighboring or the abutting property on the other side of
Okay.
the.
I believe based on that survey, it shows it as open space.
It does,
Yeah.
that just says
I
open
think it's
space.
a subdivision thing. I
It
don't,
does say open
yeah,
space.
I don't think it's.
There used to be a road or something down that.
No.
See, that's,
I mean, there was, I stood there near the pool, there was a sight line, because I feel like this property is elevated to the one next to it. So there was a sight line to the house, but yeah, there's probably this open space in between.
One thing I would like to add, which I don't think is very clear in the survey here, is that the pool would stay at this essentially the same elevation as the existing, but the patio towards the house is actually sunken down, so that additional hardscaped area actually gets recessed down for us to kind of create a full height access indoors and outdoors for the house. We're currently, as you probably saw while you were there, you kind of have this sort of split level condition.
Yeah.
So that additional, or the paving towards the house then is sunken, so potentially it would be less visible for if there were any sightlines.
Any further questions, anybody?
I have no questions.
Morgan? Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll hear from the planning department.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Morgan Slater for the Planning Department.
Morgan, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. It's pretty straightforward area variance application. The new pool is proposed in the same footprint as the existing pool, just a different orientation, which is what triggered the need for the variance. I don't believe that there's any decrease in the setback than what is currently there, and the area within the setback is also being slightly reduced, not by a huge amount, but it is a reduction. The property does have that flag that goes down to 3 Mile Harbor, but none of the proposed improvements are within NRSP jurisdiction. And that kind of covers it all. I can answer any questions the board may have. About the easement, I think it's just that cleared path was some sort of access easement used to have access to the water. There's no scenic or conservation easement on the property that I'm aware of.
I know you said, we know that this is in the general location of the existing pool. It would be, or would have been helpful to really know exactly being able to compare variance to variance, because I think what you're saying is the existing pool is non-conforming to setbacks. It just would be helpful to know really precisely.
Yeah, I mean, I did a scalable measurement and it was maybe, if there was a difference, it was inches.
Inches?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
It's just in a slightly, like the corner of the pool, it's just slightly shifted. It's not in the exact same footprint of where the current setback is the most intrusive. It's just slightly off where that is, but the setback nonetheless is.
just a clarification
increasing.
on the pre-existing non-conforming, right? So this pool, at the time it was permitted and C of O'd, was it conforming?
And
to
the building
setbacks?
permit for the pool and patio was issued in 1981. That might have predated the double setback.
That's prior to double setbacks.
yes, I
So it
believe
was a
so.
conforming pool. It was a
At the
conforming
time.
pool.
Yes, yeah, and there's been, I think, 3 or 4 COs that have been issued since the pool has been constructed. So it's been in place for quite a long time.
Thank you.
And just one more thing about the open space. I know you've discussed it, but that is open space that's in common ownership by the subdivision, or is it owned by the neighbor?
I do not know that.
No,
off the
okay.
top of my head.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Morgan?
I have no questions.
No. Thank you, Morgan. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this application? Matt, is there anybody online?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the record.
No.
Gotta leave
Oh,
it
no,
open.
we have to keep it open, my bad. So we're going to keep it open till August 12th, I understand?
August 12th for proper.
So you understand your responsibility of posting it prior to August 12th, at least 10 days prior to August 12th, right? Okay. Right, and then you will submit the certified receipts.
You're gonna- So you'll send a new letter.
For posting as well, will we need to update it? on
Just keep it posted.
Well, the date should be updated. We don't typically post for continuance, so.
No,
But
but
it
I mean,
should
this is
continuance.
different. We
This is
have
to
done
make
this
it
in the
in
past.
Compliance with the
So
requirements to have a public hearing.
this is to satisfy the proper notice.
Proper
Yeah,
notice.
but I would think it should have
So this.
posting out
is-
there with the new date.
Yeah, there should be a posting within, we just did this recently on something, I think, didn't we?
Continuation, you don't really.
No, but there was something where we updated, I thought, the date on the posting.
The posting that's on the property now, should we?
I think it should be updated. It should be
Yes.
updated with the new
date.
with the new date.
And then the other notice has to,
So with that, I make a motion in Sophia Borditsky at 85 Oyster Shores Road, East Hampton, Suffolk, tax map number 300-92-2-43, to close the public hearing, but keep the public record open until August 12th for the applicant to renotice the property.
Second?
concur.
Concur.
Thank you. Next, we have Chris and Julie Salmon at 108 Navy Road in Montauk, Suffolk, tax map number 300-26-1-16. Size and location is 18,078 square feet at 108 Navy Road in Montauk. The description is to renovate the existing residence, change windows and doors, new roof, remove and alter approximately 180 square feet of the residence, and construct decking in its place. Reconstruct, remove, and construct additional decking, new decking railings, replace the existing walkway and bluff stairs in place, construct a new outdoor shower, new pathways, new driveway, and with retaining wall. Upgrade the sanitary system and clear vegetation within jurisdiction and setbacks of bluffs and beaches. The relief sought is a natural resources special permit pursuant to 255-420 of the East Hampton Town, and 3 variances are required for this application. Variances of 33.8 feet, 30 feet, and 30 feet are required from 255-440 of the Town Code to construct the proposed decking 41.2 feet, additions 45 feet, and roofing 45 feet from top of bluff where 75 foot setbacks are required, and any other relief necessary. The zoning district is A residence zone, X flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. Council, do we have proper affidavit of service and posting?
So I reviewed the affidavits of notice and posting, and everything seems to be in order, and the board has jurisdiction over this hearing.
Thank you. Whose report is
This
this?
one's mine.
Okay.
Okay, this is the official notice. You see the house in the background. It's properly posted. This is just a shot down Navy Road toward the east. Next. And it's a shot up Navy Road in the other direction toward Eddie Echo Park. This is the house, and that's a shot from across the street that I took and get effect of the entire building there. Next. That's next. Okay, I think he's got out of order, but, okay, there should be one before that, walking down, but so what's happening here is they're changing the front of the house and there steps down to there are steps right now, also currently down to the front door with decking that goes to the right. And then you turn to the left and you end up a little farther down and at this location. And this is a shot from the back of the house then, where they're proposing to square off on the second floor between those two areas of the house that jut out and redo some decking. And on the other end of that, which you can't see from here, is the same kind of configuration. So they're going to square that off, and they're proposing to do a new second-story deck and first-story deck and some additions to the house in that vicinity. Next. Okay. All right. Now, well, just to the right of that area with the deck on first floor, this is just an area of what's underneath the house and next to the house. I'm going to continue walking down to the right where you see that railing going down toward the decking. Next. Well, this is a shot basically in the direction of Fort Palm Bay and Navy Beach, a little bit to the easterly direction. Next. Okay, so now I'm at the top of these stairs, and I'm going to go down the stairs. They're proposing to replace in kind part of the woodwalk, and they're looking to legalize a portion of the walkway, which I believe is going underneath, but we'll see more of that later. So I'm just going to walk down here to the end of this walk. Next. And okay. Well, this was a shot I took just because it was a beach plum, and it actually has beach plums on it if you look carefully at it. So, but there is some other nice vegetation in addition to that. Next. Now, this is in the area on the survey where you see it goes down. I'm at the top of the stairs down at the end of the wood walkway. Next. That's just another shot going basically to the northeasterly side. And you can see the jetty that shows on the survey in the extreme left. It's part of the public park at Eddie Ecker. Next. And now I'm coming back up, and again, this is to give you, the deck that you see here is the deck that was on the lower level, and I believe this is the part that they're looking to legalize, but I'd like to get confirmation of that from the agent. Next. And at the end of that underwalk, there's a shower already there, which I guess is going away because there's a proposed outdoor shower in another location on the project. And that might be the last one. Next.
That's it.
Is that it? One picture's missing.
Jameson, welcome back to the room.
Everyone, good to see you. Jameson McWilliams, now of the Adam Miller Group. And I have Katie here also, if we have any questions for her later, specific to some of the building plans and things like that. But as you know, this is 180 Navy Road. I'm go through quickly again. The proposed work is an interior renovation, pretty significant cleanup of the property, changes to the windows and doors, which you can see on some of the proposed elevations existing, the shape and the location of those windows and doors and what is proposed. a new roof, which includes some of the new roof line, which we can talk about in a minute, remove and alter approximately 180 square feet of the residence. That's that little bump out area that Terry was referring to that's being squared off, but some of it's being removed and replaced with decking. Reconstruct, remove, and construct new decking and railings, replace in place in kind that existing walkway and the bluff stairs, construct the new outdoor shower, new pathways, construct the new driveway with the retaining wall, which we can get into a little bit, upgrade the sanitary system, and clearing of the vegetation within the setbacks of the bluff and the beaches. That's primarily for the installation of the IA system. And then there's the revegetation. As mentioned in the notice, this requires the NRSP as well as the 3 variances. The entire property, as you guys see, is very constrained. Everything that is currently existing in the house and the deck as is, to touch it, you would require a variance because it's all within the 75 feet of the required setback from the bluff. So getting into the work specifically, we need the 33.8 foot variance for the proposed decking, 41.2 feet where 75 feet is required, the 30 foot variance for the addition 75 feet, or 45 feet, excuse me, where 75 feet is required, and the same for the new roof. So of note, which I might mention again, but since it's right here in my notes, the existing GFA for the house is 2,197.95 square feet, according to the plans, and the proposed is 2,162.37 square feet. The decking existing is 960.22 square feet, and the proposed is 1,006.45 square feet. So I think this is property has kind of an interesting history, not super interesting, but you rarely see the house. The original building permits were applied for after a 1987 zoning board application and approval. As I mentioned, everything is within jurisdiction on this property. They pulled a number of permits for that, and it looks like, according to the property card, probably started construction shortly after, but seemed to have built a little bit more than what was approved. So they were required to either, they got a stop work order and were required to either remove those or obtain additional relief. So they did that. So there's a subsequent 1991 zoning board approval. And after that, permits were renewed a couple of times, and they finally got their only CO for that original work and those 2 original zoning board approvals in 2008, and nothing has changed since then. And so right now, really, as we mentioned in the memo, really what they want and need to do now is just a renovation. It's pretty beaten down, basically due to the weather and kind of some upkeep that was probably needed that didn't happen. It's vacant right now, and the owners really just want to get it in a livable state and make it, safer, I say, mostly due to there's a driveway and front door situation that they're trying to alleviate, and that really is the only thing that is increasing the GFA, but because it's offset by the removal on the water side, that's how you get a net decrease in the GFA. But they want to just clean up the property, and like I said, to touch anything, they need these variances. The driveway, right now, the parking that is kind of cleared for that purpose is all within the town's right of way. So to pull that onto their property and to account for the grade change, the road is high, obviously, and it slopes down over the bluff and then in towards the water. The engineer suggested this retaining wall. It's only 3 feet, I think 3 feet 4 inches, but to put the retaining wall between the house and the road to create a parking on site, but to be able to level out the grade a little bit there. And then the addition is that portico to kind of move the front door, offset it so you're not potentially pulling right in and right into the front yard. The extension, the changes to the roof requiring the variance is really just to change the roof line, number one, to accommodate that reconfiguration of the portico that I just mentioned. And the other one, to slightly change that roof line on the side of the house, on the east side of the house. They could, by changing that roof line, they can make more room for a second-story bedroom. And again, that's in the same footprint as the existing structure. So nothing that they're proposing here is moving any of the structure closer to the bluff. And in one case, you can see on the survey, there's that tiny little shaded triangle on the water side. On the west corner, it's gray there. That's just being removed and nothing's going in its place. That's really the closest point, as you guys can see, to the bluff, and kind of in the CHA line. So that's just being removed altogether. And I don't know if you guys have any questions. I did have some other notes if it's helpful. I have where I think on the plans, one of the elevations that I think is helpful to see how the exterior changes on the water side. Tyler, do you mind pulling up A400? It shows you the east elevation. That one, yeah. So you can see down there on the bottom is like where it says 02 and 04. So 02 on the left there is existing, and 4 on the right is proposed. And if you're envisioning, if you're looking at this, the water is to the right. So that's where kind of that photo that Terry showed where that window is, where it's kind of curved there. They're squaring it off, but removing some of that mass so that on the floor there is deck where there is no deck, and it allows for a second-story deck. But as you can see, nothing is actually closer to the bluff or to the water than what's existing. It's just sort of a reconfiguration of the space, and that's where they're giving up some of the GFA to have outdoor space instead, but then they're picking up the GFA from the portico and from a little bit on that second story. And then importantly, as I know you guys are mindful of this, the coverage, the proposed coverage is actually going down by 5 square feet to 1,189 square feet, where the allowed is 1,984. The coverage is going up by 1 square foot to 2,319, where total allowed is 4,960. And the revegetation, the allowable clearing is 9,919. The existing is 4,656, and the proposed final clearing is 2,817. So obviously well under the allowable, 1,839 square feet lower than what's existing. And it does note in the TAM, as I mentioned earlier briefly, is that it will have to be cleared more than that, still well under the allowable, but the proposed clearing is during construction, the 5,881 square feet to account for that sanitary going in over there. But that's why they're gonna re-veg and then re-veg more than that to, make it as beautifully vegetated and protecting the environment as possible.
Well, now that you brought that up.
Tell me.
Yeah, I was just going there were 2 pictures missing. I don't know how that happened, but one of them was a shot in the direction of where the OWTS is going.
Yeah.
And there's a mix there's some very nice plantings, native plantings on the property overall here and there. So are they going to save these plants, or how? It was hard to tell how much was just in the area where the OWTS is going.
I know.
But there were oaks, you got oaks, you got
One of the comments we have heard is that because the house, it's a little bit wild over there, but from the standpoint of vegetation, that's a good thing, right? Unfortunately, some of it is going to have to be cleared because that is the best place for the sanitary. But in terms of what could be removed and kind of saved and planted somewhere else,
I'm
any
not aware
thoughts on
you
this?
can remove, you can save oaks.
Oak tree's a tough one.
Yeah, that
And there are some in that area, but I couldn't tell exactly, just looking at it.
You could plant
Where
new
the-
ones somewhere else.
Yes, you
right?
could.
But the net result from what exists today is, at the end of everything, there'll be 1,839 more square feet of revegetation.
correct, right. So the total clearing, if everything is approved, will be the 2,817.
Is it, it's in there,
I mean, we have a planting plan,
Yes.
although the print is so
planting
small, I
plan.
can't even read it.
Yeah, I know, I couldn't.
But,
You can't read that? I'm just kidding, I can't either. Do you have
that on
is
purpose?
it on this size? No, it's
Yeah,
not on
that one.
purpose.
yeah, that,
Indicated
On
on.
PDF, we can zoom in if you want to see the,
Yep.
We can
Oh,
hear
I see.
Tyler.
I
We
went
can
through
hear
it.
Tyler
Yeah.
can talk about it, I
well.
guess, yeah.
and this is up for, any suggestions. The client is very amenable to anything that the planning department and the board wants to see, we will do.
Okay, I just want to make another comment because another photo that was missing. The front of the house, it has steps, several steps, and you go down. And that's where they're rearranging that area. And where Jameson was talking about the retaining wall with the parking. So they're moving the parking.
Yes,
Good, good. Just one other thing, the survey I'm looking at is June 20th, 2025. Is that correct?
yes, that sounds
Received.
familiar. Hold on, let me just
June
double check.
13th, 2025.
June 13th, 2025, yes. And that has that, I'm glad you mentioned that, because on the prior survey, it was very difficult to see the scenic easement area, so we did ask Walbridge to shade that in a different color. And I only mention that because now it's more visible that this was the scenic easement requirement of one of those prior determinations, but you can see there's a pretty significant easement already.
Wait a minute, where is it?
From the bay, do you see the blue?
Oh, okay.
Shade, yeah,
It's all
that-
the way up there. Okay, yeah. All right,
7,000.
thank you. Oh, so that was from the prior, one of the prior approval.
Correct, yeah. I think that really, they added the re-veg there and made some of the notes, some of the prior surveys, there's so much information on there that we tried to get it a little bit easier to read.
And one other thing, that lower level walk where the shower is that what you're legalizing or is that going away? That very lower level, yeah.
They have to talk at the
Strip, yeah.
Come up.
Come on down.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'll pull the plan.
Announce yourself.
Katie Osiki, East
Do
Adelaide.
you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Terry, you're talking about the little area that's right, like, when you go down to the walkway?
Lowest level.
Yeah, so we're legalizing that. That was put in at some
So
point.
you're keeping that?
Yeah.
But the shower's going elsewhere from what I saw on the survey.
The shower's moving towards the house, yes.
So one of my questions was going to be about the single C of O you got was in 2008. So when we go out and visit the house, which we did, are we looking at everything that was on the 2008 C of O, including the part you want to legalize that was down below that had the shower? That must not have been there if you want to legalize it, right?
That's
So
one.
what else? Is there anything else that we see out there that's not part of the 2008 C of O?
Don't believe so.
I was going to mention that, sorry, from what we've tried to piece together, obviously the prior COs, they are not that specific, but between the aerials and all of the town's records, I believe it's just that one strip that was added sometime after 2008. Everything else was added piecemeal between the 87 and the 91 permitted, but just slow process to get to the CO from 2008.
So the other thing, in the back, we're going to take what is two angled walls that come out at a 45. We're going to cut them back and square that off. That's what we're looking at. And those two little triangles are going to be turned into outside deck. Is that what I'm taking from what you said? That's what you said, that what we recede from would be turning into outside deck. So it's not any more significant in the planning than that. I don't see it as being that way. right?
Correct. And that's actually the one other elevation that I thought was helpful to me as I was trying to visualize it. Tyler, sorry, if you don't mind, is the A410.
Yes.
So that, oh, yeah, it's that one on the top there.
Yep.
So this is on, we're on the water side looking towards the house. So the left is existing and the right is proposed. So you can see now what Terry was trying to say, right? There's a little area there and then it bumps out and now then there's the little deck on the other side and now they're trying to just attach it. But nothing is coming seaward from this existing footprint.
And this staircase is on existing deck, so.
Okay, and then we have a walkway that you're going to rebuild that goes out to the bay. That's part of this proposal, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm saying we get out there and we have a staircase, and then we have a distance from the bottom of the staircase to the shoreline. And now there's nothing there in terms of a walkway. It's probably been abandoned if there was one. And that proposal, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at it, that proposal on our landscape plan that would say that we're going to have a 4-foot wide walkway to the bay?
I believe it's on the survey.
No.
No, it doesn't. Are
It's
you
a-
going beyond the existing stairs today?
It's a wood walk, right?
It's a wood wall.
No, but, and I see what you're saying.
Ends
It's
at
on
the
the
bottom of the
survey and
stairs.
it is on the re-veg plan. There's a word pathway there.
Pathway.
And that's what you're referring to, I believe, like,
Right.
yes, beyond the
So basically what's
existing-
there, you're just going to replace in kind,
Correct.
and then we're going to walk in the
And
sand
you're gonna
down
have to walk.
4-foot wide walkway.
We're not asking for anything more than what's there.
Yes, so it's not a 4-foot wide, it doesn't look like
It
it.
doesn't look like
You're going
it.
to end off exactly where you end off today.
Yes. If you will allow us.
Same with the walkway to the bay, in place, in kind, nothing's changing.
Could I just go back to
Well,
the,
some of that has to change.
No,
People
they're
like
saying in
Mary-
place, in kind. She just said yes.
But like all untreated wood and all the good stuff.
Any other questions?
yeah, since we were talking about the 2008 C of O, can you just reconcile, so the house is currently improved with 2198 square foot two-story residence, but the CO adds up to 1870. So just, I mean, you're below
Yeah.
the, maximum GFA and everything, but I think we want to get it right. So whatever gets legalized
We can-
is legalized. So was the house actually, the internal expanded, or is there some other reason that you can put your finger on for the discrepancy?
No, the house has not expanded.
I don't believe so. I'm looking at the table.
Could it have been like a double height thing, or I don't know, I can't speculate, but it's not huge, but it's not,
Just how they.
it's more than a rounding error.
Yeah, I think it's just how it's calculated. What is that difference? Sorry.
Yeah, that was Tyler's answer, how it was
I mean,
calculated.
it would be
back then.
nice to ultimately get the C of O to be correct, right?
Yes, yes. And because I don't think we were able to get any plans from the prior CO. No. So they're not in the file.
Numbers,
No.
Regardless, if this gets approved, we'll have a new square footage.
Right.
Any other questions?
No,
I do not
I'm
have
fine,
any
thank
more.
you.
Okay, thank you. Tyler?
Thank you.
How are you, Tyler?
Tyler Borzak for the planning department.
All right, Tyler, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So the subject property is situated on the north side of Navy Road in Montauk. The project before the ZBA is a request to make several small changes to the existing residence, including removing a small portion of the seaward side of the residence, making it smaller and replacing it with decking. Additionally, to remove, construct, and reconstruct decking. The project also requests small construction for a new roof line, construct an existing walkway and reconstruct the existing walkway and bluff stairs, construct new walkways and an entrance deck, new driveway, upgrade the sanitary system, and revegetate the parcel. After clearing for construction and revegetation is done, it'll reduce the overall clearing from 4,656 square feet to a proposed 2,943 square feet. The project as proposed represents a minimal amount of change to the existing conditions in order to revitalize the property, which has remained fairly unchanged since the original development in the late 1980s. The project requires 3 variances for the proposed new decking, additions, and a new roof line on the seaward side of the residence. These variances are for minimal changes to the existing conditions, but which are mostly within the existing footprint and no closer to the bluff than the existing improvements. The closest decking to the bluff at the northwest corner of the residence is proposed to be removed and replaced with slightly more conforming decking layout. The proposed addition is mostly within the existing footprint of the residence and will reduce overall coverage, overall gross floor area by 35.5 square feet. The project is also proposing to handle roof and driveway runoff during rain events with appropriately designed and sized dry wells, as well as reduce overall clearing on the parcel below the current clearing limits. The revegetation plan proposes a mix of woody vegetation with ferns, perennials, and areas of ground cover mixed in as well. The project overall appears to be in keeping with the existing improvements on the parcel and the ZBA's past approvals on this property and nearby properties. Other than that, I can answer any questions you might have.
Anybody have any questions for Tyler?
I don't.
I guess just that whatever planting plan is put forward will be subject to your approval.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with the plan as it was approved right now, so that it could be included in the determination.
Anybody else? No?
No.
Thank you, Tyler. Can we have a motion? Public. Oh, sorry, public. Is there anybody in the public? It's an empty room, so it's like, is anybody in the public? Nat, is there anybody online?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
I knew that.
Okay.
Can we have a motion? Thank you.
Before there's a motion to the applicant's agent, if it's okay, I did not get to go see the property. I kept getting, but I'm going to go. So if anyone needs to know that, I'm still going to be on the property.
Do you mind just letting me know because there is cameras?
Yes.
I heard, yeah, okay,
Yes.
so I'll let you
Scared the
know.
hell
It's
out
probably
of me.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
but sorry to interrupt, but like, I just wanted to make it clear because I would never not go see the property before making a decision. Thank you.
Can we have a motion?
Okay, so for the application of Chris and Julie Salmon at 108 Navy Road in Montauk, tax map 300-026-01-16, I make a motion to close the public hearing on the public record.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into post-hearing decisions. And I am going to ask our alternate, John Thorson, to come on up because I was not here for this one.
Oh, that's what she's doing.
So, okay. Okay, what I do with my things here.
Thank you. Is this you?
Yes.
The next post-hearing decision is Karen Kreider, 224 Fairview Avenue, Montauk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 300-19-2-28.1. Project description is to relocate an existing shed and allow an existing fence and stone wall to remain within wetland setbacks, to allow a pool patio to remain within wetland and front yard setbacks, and to allow a wood deck to remain within front yard setbacks. Relief sought is a natural resource special permit pursuant to 255-420 of the Town Code, and 6 variances are required for this application. 4 variances of 22 feet, 52 feet, 15, and 10 are required from 255-430 of the Town Code to allow the shed to be relocated 78 feet from the wetland, and to allow the fence to remain 48 feet, stone wall 85 feet, and the pool patio 90 feet from the wetland where 100-foot setbacks are required. 2 variances of 11 feet and 3.8 feet are required from 255-1110 to allow the pool patio to remain 19 feet from the front yard where 30 is required, and to allow the wood deck to remain 16.2 feet from the front yard where 20 feet is required, and any other relief necessary. Zoning district is A, residence X flood zone. Secret class is a type 2. Member Johan?
Thank you. Kreider was the hearing. We'll remember that the hearing was held on June 24th, 2025. We were working from a survey from May 22nd, 2024. There was an amended survey received on June 16th, 2025 that corrected the total lot coverage numbers. That had been a typo, but the basic survey we worked from was that May 22nd survey. The applicant was represented by Joel Halsey of Lighthouse Planning. We received an additional document from Joel Halsey, describing the applicant's position on the various variance and NRSP requests. Getting into it, there was obviously an NRSP and 6 variance requests. And so the variance was required under 11-10 for the pool patio and the wood deck. The pool patio to be 11 feet from the property line, the wood deck to be 3.8. Those variances relate directly to the fact that Frederick Court and on that side of the property is considered a front yard because obviously that's a roadway. And the irregular shape of the property line is drawn in the 1927 subdivision, creates an irregular and not very geometric form for it to measure for these setback measurements. On the wetland setback variance under 255-430 related to the fence, which is a 52-foot variance, as a stone wall of 15 foot and a pool patio. We're all we're all set at that side. The shed required a 22-foot variance under 255-4-40. I've looked at these as individual variances to see what we should consider. Those, and then overall looked at the NRSP. A portion of the fence that was outside the scenic easement or inside the scenic easement was moved to outside the scenic easement. That fence now describes the scenic easement exactly running along that edge. That was a discussion because obviously it was inside. When they agreed to move it back, we did have questions of the planner about whether or not that was an appropriate spot for the fence, and they said very often, we will run a fence along the scenic easement to protect from any damage being done by people doing additional landscaping, mowing, or recreation in that area. However, they did mention that they prefer to see, the planner prefer to see a split rail fence in that location rather than a wire fence. Right now it is the wire fence. The wall that was cited, let me just see what I'm going to say about that. Oh, the wall that was cited is at 85 feet away. I just read it. I'm sorry. And requires a variance. That wall exists to hold back of some work that was done on the swimming pool at one point. Let me jump first back to the ZBA ruled in March 21st, 1990. Approving a residence. The building permit was issued on March 15th, 91 for a 1,144-foot square residence with no decks. In April 10th of 91, an NRSP was granted for a swimming pool and deck as there to be at least 100 foot from wetlands. May 29th, 91, a building permit for a 450 square foot vinyl pool and 156 square feet of decking was issued. On August 16th, 91, the town accepted a scenic easement as drawn by the and offered by the applicant. In September 13th, 91, a permit was issued for 1,144 foot lower level and garage. 9/20/91, C of O was issued for the residence, which included the pool with fencing, dry well, and decking. 9/6/22, the building permit was denied because they realized at the time, the building department realized at the time that there were issues with the placement of some of the work that had been previously approved. One of the things we consider here when we're looking at the survey is this lot layout. The lot layout is from a 1927 subdivision map, and we've seen this in a couple of other places in Montauk. These circular lot lines can create problems in understanding just how far from the property line you are, so that a couple of the easements that we're dealing with, a couple of the variances we're dealing with are ones that are really created by the fact that they're a lot closer to the lot line than might appear. There's a buffer outside of that. We've seen that on these others. And here, the one that's from the side lot pool and also from that deck, hit the curved lot, although there's a fair amount of vegetation beyond that. To see what the other variances. Oh, as far as the shed goes, the shed was a big part of our discussion. The shed's being moved, and it's going to decrease the distance, increase the distance from the wetlands. And there was a discussion about it could have been moved further. There was some suggestion in the TAM it could be moved further. When I look at the location of the shed, where it's at now, the suggestion that it could move further north, it could move 2 feet further north because there's a 20-foot setback there as well. And so that shed can only go a couple of feet. The idea of moving it to the northeast didn't appeal to me either because that's a heavily vegetated area. I'd rather not put it back in there. In terms of what impact it might have on the wetlands, there is the easement that we've seen on the map and is well defined. That's considerable. And there's some additional planting area that's now been suggested to be done behind the shed, working its way back. So now we're looking at a building that will condition that building to have gutters and leaders and a dry well if this was to move forward, and then a buffer of some planted area, revegetated area, and a significant easement before it comes to downhill to a wetland. Looking at that one and that variance, I think that is the best location on the property. I don't think you can move it up any further to the northeast. I think if you do on that side, it was pointed out by Joel Halsey, you'd have to move it almost onto the house to get it off the property line. We obviously weren't going to move it around on the side of the any closer to the roadway on the east side of the house. So it's being moved from one spot to another. We're getting revegetation in its former spot. We're getting revegetation to the west of it. I'm happy with the location of it being as about as good a location as we can get on this particular parcel. I think that when I look at the other variances here that are required, other than the NRSP, I think that they're reasonable in that the stone wall, we can ask to have that one small portion removed. We could do that. I think that the effort to bring the property clearance into compliance, we're going to get down. The offer from the applicant was to reduce the clearing to 10,000 feet, the exact maximum, but nonetheless a reduction of several thousand feet, over 2,000 feet of cleared area, I think is a positive offer on their behalf. And I think that the variances that are required by the setbacks for the deck and the pool area really are triggered by the property line and the fact that Frederick Court, which is a very small road, calls it a front yard. I think similarly, we've had other situations like this that's come off like this way. So I think that for me, I was moving towards approval on this. I think in terms of the NRSP, the wetlands here between the easement, I've already said this, and the revegetation, I think there's an offer there that protects them fairly well. I'm not bothered by what we see in the shed. Let me just see what else I have here I wanted to mention. Yeah, there's just all the dates about what was granted here. And yeah, I guess when I was done with this, I looked at it and I thought the variances were reasonable, and I thought that there were reasons for them that I understood why they exist. I think the shed was something that was discussed, should be moved around. I think the fence was described as being moved out to a location where it made a certain amount of sense to us in terms of protecting the easement. And therefore, I was leaning towards approval. Let me just go to the standards here and what we were being asked to look at. In terms of 255-8-50, whether the grant of the variance will cause an unavoidable change of the character of the neighborhood, I said no. B, whether the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible to the applicant. I think they attempted to find ways in which to make this a more feasible, acceptable application to us by moving the shed and by offering us the mitigation of the revegetation. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. I think under the circumstances, I don't believe it is substantial. Whether the environmental conditions of the neighborhood or an affected area of the town will affect the town, or whether the difficulty caused by having the requested area variance was self-created. Well, it was certainly self-created, but I don't think the variance will have an adverse effect on the impact of the town. and which consideration would be relevant to the determination of the board that should not necessarily preclude the grant of the variance. I didn't see that there was conditions here that would preclude me from approving this. So I wandered around on it a little bit, both considering it and explaining it, but all in balance, I thought that what we see out of this is some serious or significant amount of revegetation, some protection for the wetland, and variances to me that I thought were acceptable under the circumstance. So I'm willing to approve this application.
Member Berger?
Okay. I agree mostly with my fellow board member. Well, we covered quite a bit, but let me go over some of my notes here. There you go. As far as I guess the one thing I differ on is perhaps the shed on this. The shed, as it is today, is 68 feet from the wetlands. At the new proposed location, it makes it 78, so it's 10 feet better. It's not a huge variance. However, as stated by the planner, there are more conforming locations. And one of those locations, as was discussed at the hearing, is toward the northeast. And to me, it looks like there is room for that shed. It would be up against the house pretty much the way, Joe Halsey had said it, but it would be able to go there and conform to the setbacks, the northern setbacks for it. The pool and the pool deck that were constructed in 1991, yeah, well, it was originally, it looked like there was a brick and sand patio, and then somewhere along the way that became a paver patio, and then I don't know that I believe that it's the property line and the curve of the road so much. However, ultimately, I will be approving the variance for the pool patio. I think it seems to be serving a purpose. And it stated that it was there, I think, to help footing. There was a gap of something, and this corrected it. And it's not a huge variance. It seems to be in keeping to me for that. The stone wall, that's 85 feet from the wetlands. That was put in without a permit. And according to the agent, after the pool and the pool patio went in, there was a lot of water and different runoff that was created. Considering the grading on this lot, I can visualize that. And the stone wall, I do think, is actually serving a good purpose in protecting the wetlands, even though it went in without any kind of a permit. So I'm going to approve the stone wall variance of 15 feet also from the wetlands. And the deck on the patio that was brought up as being kind of a transition from a deck that exists over to the side of the house on the south side that runs down toward the pool area. It's a 4-foot walkway. It's not a full deck. It really is not made any larger than that to be able to walk through, and was done for convenience for the applicant in order to get better egress out of the house in an emergency. So I will be approving that also, the 4.8 variance, I believe it was. So I do think the project does meet the standards. So I looked out there. Yeah, I'm disturbed a little bit because the pool and the deck, they did get a C of O, and there was a project approved for it. And in the project conditions, it states, as we always state, that any change should come back to the board before they do it. And that didn't happen, as we know, for a long time. But anyway, I'm still going to approve that. The shed. Oh, the fencing within the scenic easement, I know Joel said that the fence was already moved out, which is not reflected on even the latest survey that we got. But I don't know, it's an 8-foot fence now. I don't know how my fellow board members feel about that fence. I'm okay with it as if it gets out of the scenic easement, but it does say it's 8 feet. That's a little bothersome to me. But basically, that's it. I think it does meet the NRSP standards. As I said, I think the stone wall is actually helping that. And as far as the re-veg, they're overcleared now. This is in a water recharge overlay district, and they will at least be bringing it back down a couple from, the clearing is 12,883 now. They're going to bring it down to the maximum allowable clearing for this property of 10,000. So I think that is mitigation. It can't really be that much more mitigation than this because the property is pretty much filled up with a lot of things. So I am going to approve the entire project. I do think it meets the NRSP standards and the variance standards. I don't think it's going to be a detriment to any of the neighbors or the town as a whole.
Thank you. Member Marin?
Yes, thank you. I'll just take the elements one at a time here. I'll start with the shed. So at a 78-foot variance, it's at 22% variance. To me, that's just on the other side of being substantial, meaning it's not that substantial. I also believe that the shed and its new location, it's buffered from it doesn't meet the wetland setback, but between the proposed vegetation, the scenic easement, the shed would seem to be well buffered, and I don't think sheds create a lot of activity necessarily. I also, did take pause because we had our planner who suggested that there is an alternative, more conforming location. We had the applicant's agent who said there's really not another place for it. We didn't get any further comment from from Morgan. However, we did learn during the public hearing that perhaps the applicant is in process of planning for a small, this was said to us, small or modest expansion of the house. So perhaps, I can't really make this a basis for my decision, but I might see how they would want to preserve that other location if they need to do some kind of expansion. So I'm going to approve the variance for the shed. With respect to the stone wall, I agree that stone wall, has become sort of a, I guess, purpose-built structural issue. Again, not a substantial variance, and I will approve that to remain. With respect to the thing that's called a deck, that really is a 4-foot walkway, the narrative around the extra egress, and it is a walkway and not a full deck, I will be approving that as well, as I think it meets the standards for the NRSP and the variances. So this gets me to the pool patio. I don't believe that the uniqueness here is that there's a rounded edge property line. Obviously, the applicants own the property for a long time. The applicant knew that work needed approvals. It was done anyway. However, and again, it's also, I just want to say this for anyone who's listening, like our fans, as the chairman often says, it really is important to have proper distances from wetlands and setbacks when there are elements that are noticed, and it's not really clear on this survey, so it makes it a little wonky. But I did my best to try and judge how much of the paver patio that was built without the benefit of permits is really more substantially cutting into, I guess it's that 19-foot is the biggest variance or 11-foot variance is the biggest needed. And it seems to be a fairly modest square footage that is violating the front yard setback, and the setback to the wetland, I think only needs a 10-foot variance, which is one of the smaller variances in the application. So even though, as I like to say, I think that these setback rules are there for very good reason, I do understand this is a not well-traveled road, and taking all that in, I do think granting the variance for the pool patio is appropriate relative to the benefit to the applicant, and the other, but granting both variances is appropriate to the needs of the applicant and to the standards as well. Did I cover them all? I think so. Okay.
Member Thorson?
Oh, and the fence, I'm sorry. Yes, the fence. I also agree that I'm approving the fence. I actually not sure if the 8-foot just meets code at all, and maybe it needs to be referred to the ARB, because maybe it's actually supposed to be a 6-foot fence. I don't, it's not quote it's not really directly in the front yard, but yes, I would like to, I don't believe 8 feet is something that can be approved, but we don't have that jurisdiction, but perhaps it needs to be referred to the ARB. But in terms of its placement now relative to the scenic easement and the wetlands, I am approving that variance. Thank you.
Member Thorson?
My thinking is very much in line with the other members who've spoken. I think the relocation of the shed is, I have no problem with it. I think its potential impact on the wetlands is buffered by the revegetation and the scenic easement, and locating it in the northeast quadrant of the property makes it, I think, it's an impractical location for the homeowner. So I'm okay with the relocation, and especially that the area that it's vacating will be revegetated as well. The retaining wall, I heard what Mr. Halsey had to say, in that it may offer a benefit to protecting the wetlands from runoff. The fence, as long as the fence is outside of the scenic easement, I'm okay with it. I did hear what Morgan had to say about the planning department preferring that it be split rail. I don't know how the rest of the board feels about that. Her reasoning was that the existing fence, as an 8-foot fence, can inhibit the movement of wildlife. So I would like to see that as a split rail fence. And the pool patio, I do think of this property line as making this property unique, and that it does, and especially Frederick Court it dead ends right there at the next house on the left. That there's really no impact to the neighborhood or neighbors by having the patio be close to the property line. So I'd like to just enumerate my thinking by going through the standards, that I don't think that the granting of the variance will cause an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or create detriment to nearby properties. I think most of the variances are minor, except for the fence, which does provide the benefit of demarcating the scenic easement, both for the current and potential future owners. I think the pool patio side yard setback is ameliorated by the unique curved shape of the property, which buffers the pool patio and won't affect any neighbors or the neighborhood. The requested front deck setback variance of 4 feet is minimal, and its impact to the neighborhood is also offset by the unique curve of the property line on the Frederick Court side. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant could be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant, sure, the applicant could, everything that was done here that's requesting a variance was done without the benefit of a building permit. And I don't like that. But here we are. And so my feeling is that what the town gets with the proposed revegetation is a net win. So for those reasons, I believe that the project does meet NRSP standards. I would like to see that the shed, the roof, water be drained to a dry well. And Joel Halsey mentioned that he will submit a revegetation plan. I don't know if that's been part of the record, made part of the record yet, but I think the revegetation of an additional 2,883 square feet, which brings the clearance into compliance, is a net win. So for these reasons, I vote to approve the application.
I agree with my fellow board members. I'm not going to repeat. I mean, pretty much my notes indicate everything that's already been said. I do think the revegetation, which you just mentioned, being proposed will correct the property's non-compliance with clearing limits, reducing the total cleared area to 10,000 square feet, which will bring the property into compliance. So I will be approving this application as well. Council, are we good?
Yeah, only, so I know two people mentioned it, but for the shed, you want to make sure it has condition that it has gutters and leaders. Is that a?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
great.
want to be clear on that. Okay.
Okay, Charlie,
Thank
I
you
was
for
iffy
that.
on the shed, but I will go along with my fellow board members and approve it. I do have a question, though. Like, they already, on the survey that we had gotten, Joel stated that the fence was already moved out.
I thought,
Should we,
I
it
think he said it was already
It did.
was already moved,
the,
said.
right?
Yeah.
So
Get a new survey?
the survey, that's what I'm getting to. So should we get a new survey or an as-built survey that reflects the correct status of what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they'll have to eventually anyway.
Right. I was just going to say in terms of the process.
Yeah, and while they're at it, put all the setbacks.
Well, is that a condition we would put in ours? You know?
They always submit one to us for a CO inspection anyways.
Yeah.
And they
CO
need one
inspection.
from the building department.
We can put it in there anyway if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to state
They
it.
always need to submit it to us for a CO inspection.
Yeah.
Right along the scenic easement line now. I think it was already moved, right?
He said it was already moved. I
Right.
just
Well, we should
want
get
the
it
survey to
confirmed. Yeah.
reflect that it was moved. That's what I want.
Can I just ask a question about the fencing again? I can't recollect. So we have a stockade fence on the northern angular part of the property. I'm just thinking about this issue, obviously what Morgan brought up and wildlife movement, but the Frederick Court side lot line, it's not fenced there, is that right? So the wildlife can move through that scenic easement and the wetlands. Is that?
Correct. And
I don't
have
remember
any
it being.
problem leaving it post and
Okay,
wire. I
yes.
think it would be more of a disturbance.
Yeah, no, I
to
just
make
wanted to double check myself
split
because
rail.
I was assuming that wildlife, I didn't want to shrug off the importance of wildlife movement. So I think there's ample place for wildlife to move to those wetlands, and I would hope.
So I
Thank
think
you.
we're good.
Everything? Okay. Yeah, all good.
Play music when we do this.
That's it. Can I go home now?
Go home now.
We got nothing much.
Okay.
All right, so we have some other decisions now. We have a modification. It's applicant is Saul at 205 Marine Boulevard, Amagansett, Suffolk, tax map number 300-176-8-26. Tyler, you want to just go through it?
Sure. So this one's really straightforward. This project originally was for, there was a couple of variances. They were demolishing an existing accessory building and decking, and they were constructing a new addition to the residence, sort of on the north side, with a small hallway connecting them. A new swimming pool, decking, stairs, upgraded sanitary system, and a few other small structures. What they're asking for now is, it's an in-place request for what is this walkway that is slightly different than what was approved. This is what was approved, was this walkway.
See it?
Yeah, it's here. Let me zoom way in. So this is the walkway here that was approved, and what they're requesting essentially.
Sorry.
Wait, just do that again. Oh, slate walkway was approved?
This walkway here.
Slate.
Wait, move your cursor. Okay.
It says proposed stairs here in pink. This decking was also squared off, but this is what they're requesting now. It's essentially the same thing, just slightly different. They're going for their CO now. I went to the property, it's ready for a CO. There's also this this is like a small connector between two different areas. It's very minimally different. If this had come in with the original approval, I don't think the board would have noticed the difference. One of the conditions was that they cut this deck back here. It used to extend over the dune crest. That's been done. I think they're ready for their CO. The modification is very minimal. We didn't have any issues with it.
So I went to see it because I don't live that far from it. So when you are standing in the road and you're looking towards the original house, right, that's obviously there's this extension that's up front, and you look at the dune, because the house is right close, non-conforming to setback, right? You see two large stone or concrete stairways rising up the dune, one on each side of the house. So which of those was approved originally by the board?
The walkway on the west side is the one that is approved.
On the west side, okay, but there's a whole large set of stairs on the east side of the house running up the dune. So
Remember, I don't recall that at all.
That would show up on a survey, wouldn't it?
Yeah, is it on the neighboring property maybe?
no,
It doesn't, I know that they had some issues and they fixed them. It could be that was one of the issues that they fixed. They're certainly not requesting to keep it.
oh, well, maybe they'll,
If it is on the property, they're not requesting to keep it.
okay. I mean, I know what I saw, so, but you're saying the board approved that very large set of stairs rising up the dune?
This is what was
Originally.
originally approved here, which is this set of stairs on the sort of northwest side of the existing house.
And did anyone check yet all the window changes? Because they are in the process of changing windows.
Check to make sure that every single window matches.
Yeah, but this was, I don't know if that's, goes beyond us. That's a building
That was an
department, that's a
NRSP
building department thing.
Doesn't that require an NRSP, window changes? That's all. Okay. So I don't know, I mean, I guess I would just make it clear that the other stairway that seems to match the one on the west side is something we would not be approving. I mean, they haven't come to us for a modification, but.
Certainly, yeah, certainly we would have to do a CO inspection.
Okay.
When's the survey dated?
What's the date of the survey?
May 6th.
I added something in the last 2 months.
So, Tyler, can we say, I mean, I'm certainly with the way it's presented here, okay with the modification, but how do we go ahead and verify that there isn't anything? So I think that conditionally, we would say we approve this, but if there's.
And anything beyond what's on this survey
Correct.
would not be an allowable structure.
Correct.
For a CO inspection, it would
Correct.
fail
Right.
Okay.
Right.
if they weren't given approval.
All right.
And I'm not going to, we're going to
Okay, can we have a
motion.
motion?
No, we
please?
don't need,
We don't for a modification?
Oh,
we
no.
don't need one for a
Okay, you
modification.
gotta write that up, I guess.
Okay.
We have the draft minutes of Tuesday, July 8th.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the draft minutes for the East Hampton Town Zoning Board of Appeals for July 8th. To approve them.
I'll second it.
I concur.
I concur.
I concur. In resolutions, we have Chili 24 LLC at 24 Calhoun Lane, Wayne Scott, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-197-1-29.6. Board members, if you remember, this was the one where there was a fountain that got approved. There was a shed that was going to be removed and complied with or relocated on the property. That will show up on the final survey. This was a unanimous decision. So with that, I make a motion in the applicant of Chill 24 LLC, 24 Cal Hill Lane, Wayne Scott, Suffolk, tax map number 300-197-1-29.6 to adopt the resolution as written.
Second.
Concur.
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 Thank you. Next, we have Rolando Mendoza Rivos at 94 Cooper Lane, East Hampton. We have alter member John, you're gonna maybe, you have a mic there so you can weigh in. So maybe we can make a motion on that.
Sorry, before I cut you off here, I didn't get this resolution isn't drafted yet.
Oh, okay.
It's not drafted.
Hey, I haven't seen it, right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I meant to get it. I told Sam I would get it on, and then I was out all day Friday unexpectedly, so I didn't get to it.
All right.
Trick question.
Next, we have Thomas Juan Zalak at 826 East End Drive, Unit 826 Montauk. This is a clarification, right?
It was a modification of
regarding building
a condition, yeah.
Change the condition,
Modification to condition.
So can we have a motion on Thomas Juan Zalak?
Want me to do it? You do it?
Yep.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay. Then in the matter of Thomas Wozniak at 826 East End Drive, Unit 826 Montauk, like the Suffolk County Tax Map 300-32.1-1-226, I'd like to make a motion to accept the determination or the resolution in this case as written.
Second.
Concur.
Concur.
Concur, thank you. And lastly, we have Nigel Curtis at 393 Cranberry Hole Road, Amagansett, Suffolk, tax map number 300-128-1-28.2. This is a resolution authorized stipulation of settlement. And through that, board members, can we have a motion?
I'm against it, or one of us.
Oh, Sam against it. Okay, so I'm gonna, well, do you want to talk about it? Because I did not have, I don't think I had proper time to read this.
Yeah, I didn't
So
get to read it.
I'm going to abstain anyway, but I can make the motion if you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to make a
I'm
motion.
ready to make a motion, yeah.
The way it's written?
Do you have a question?
I read it.
I went through council on this before.
Yeah, we were,
So we have to review this in 60 days? I mean,
Well, it's going to be brought to us in 60 days. We're going to have a work session and deem it complete, and then it'll move to a hearing.
You have to do a hearing within 60 days once it's complete.
So normally
Okay,
the
so
policy,
planning doesn't do
policy
it?
is the planning department does that for us, like they'll deem it determination. But this is a stipulation by the court, so I think we have to adhere to it.
I think.
Yeah, so.
It's a motion. In the matter of Nigel Curtis, Suffolk County Tax Map 300, I don't have the street address, but Suffolk County Tax Map 300-128-1. Okay, let me start again. In the matter of Nigel Curtis, 393 Cranberry Hole Road, Amagansett, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-128-1-28.2. Make a motion to approve the modification resolution, resolution authorizing stipulation of settlement as written.
second.
I concur.
I concur.
I concur.
I abstain.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn the zoning board of appeals meeting on July 15th, 2025 at 7:58 PM.
Second.
Concur.
I concur.